In the quiet town of St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest continuously inhabited European established settlement in the United States, locals still claim that history doesn't just live in dusty books or crumbling forts, it breathes, drifting through the heavy night air like a warm ocean breeze. And on some nights, if you listen closely enough, it tells stories. One such story begins in 1674, long before Florida was a vacation paradise. Back then, St. Augustine was a rugged, uncertain Spanish outpost, constantly threatened by pirates, storms, and rival empires. Its most iconic structure, Castillo de San Marcos, was still under construction. The workers, soldiers, craftsmen, enslaved laborers, and local indigenous people had no idea that the fort they were building would someday become one of the most enduring symbols of American history. But this isn't just about the fort. It's about the man whose secret disappeared into its coquina walls. His name was Mateo Alvarez, a quiet cartographer, one of the mapmakers brought from Havana. He wasn't a soldier, nor an explorer, nor a man seeking glory. He spent most of his days sketching coastlines, measuring strange tidal patterns, and drafting intricate drawings for Spanish naval officers. Yet Mateo had a curiosity that often got him into trouble. He believed the coastline of the New World held mysteries the Spanish crown didn't yet understand, especially the strange magnetic shifts sailors reported near Florida. Compass needles behaved oddly. Metal instruments hummed faintly during certain tides. Most dismissed it as sailor superstition. Mateo did not. One evening, while studying tide logs, he noticed something unusual. Every few months, at the exact moment of the highest tide, all compasses pointed slightly east instead of north, just for a few minutes. A tiny deviation, but consistent. Too consistent to ignore. Locals had legends about this phenomenon. Indigenous Timucua elders spoke of a hidden vein of the earth, a mysterious seam of metallic stone far beneath the coastline that pulled the sky toward the sea. Mateo thought it might be a huge magnetic deposit, far larger than anything Europeans had mapped, and he wanted to find it. Against orders, he began sneaking out at night, traveling by canoe into narrow lagoons, sketching tidal behavior by moonlight. He kept all his notes in a leather-bound journal, one he guarded obsessively. But something else began happening too. He heard voices. At first, distant and faint, like wind sliding across sand. But over time, clearer. Whispering words in a language he didn't recognize, yet somehow understood. They urged him to keep going, to dig deeper, to follow the shifting of the compasses. He became consumed by it. Some said he was losing sleep. Others said he was simply exhausted. But the workers noticed strange things when he passed. Metal tools vibrating slightly, lantern flames flickering even without wind. Mateo insisted it was all explainable, but privately, he wondered if the underground magnetic seam was far more powerful and possibly dangerous than he imagined. Then came the night of September 18th, 1679. A moonless sky, high tide, the hour when the compass deviation should occur. Mateo slipped into the unfinished chamber of the Castillo, lantern in hand. He intended to mark the exact moment the magnetic field peaked, believing the stone walls, made of seashell-filled coquina, would amplify the effect. He scribbled furiously in his journal, his compass trembling on the floor, and then it happened. The compass needle spun wildly, faster than ever before, whirling as if pulled by an invisible hand. The lantern flame stretched sideways as though trying to escape the room. The stones vibrated under his feet. Mateo dropped the compass and stumbled backward. He felt a humming deep in his bones, an ancient rhythmic pulse, like the heartbeat of the planet itself. As the vibrations grew stronger, dust and sand poured from the ceiling. Workers outside later reported hearing a muffled roar, like a wave crashing underground. When the tremor stopped, they rushed in. Mateo was gone. All that remained was his journal, open on the floor, and a single line scribbled in shaky handwriting. "It's not a magnetic vein, it's a doorway." The Spanish governor sealed the chamber. The journal was locked away. Mateo Alvarez was recorded as having disappeared during unauthorized inspection. The event was never officially investigated, but the strangest part, every few decades during renovations, workers claim they hear knocking inside that same wall. Soft, rhythmic, like someone tapping from the other side of stone. Not begging for help, just waiting. And on humid Florida nights, when the sea breeze slows and Castillo de San Marcos glows under the moonlight, tourists sometimes feel a gentle vibration under their feet. Some even drop their phones because the metal becomes warm in their hands. Park rangers always smile and say, "It's just the coquina breathing." But locals shake their heads because they know better. History doesn't sleep, it whispers. And sometimes it never lets go.